Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Chef Earl Swain, who is running for Board of Education in the town of Old Saybrook and is also a chef. Chef, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming down. So, Chef Swain, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I am a chef at Cloud9 Catering.
Okay.
I've been there about 11 years. I was educated through Saybrook High. I went to vocational school in Essex for culinary arts, and I've been doing that for about 40 years.
Cool.
And currently a single dad raising 4 kids and going through the struggles of parenthood.
You like your work as a chef?
I do. I really enjoy it. Just having the creativity of creating new recipes and dealing with new people week by week. Especially in the catering field.
Yeah.
You've always got new, brides and grooms and mothers of the brides.
Oh, right. And I'm sure you never know what you're going to run into with the mother of the bride or the groom.
No, there's always something new, and it could be anything from from the wedding party themselves, or guests, or
right.
outside sources, our flour supplier, or
right.
Something like that.
Now, I'm sure you've had some brides and some grooms that have been awesome to work with, and I'm sure you've had some brides and some grooms that are not so friendly to work with.
Yeah, there's a few.
Right. So I see that you're running for Board of Education in the town of Old Saybrook.
Correct.
I guess my big question for you is, and I got to say this with a straight face, why?
Well, that's a question everyone asks. Sometimes I ask myself.
Yeah, right. What am I doing? I don't know.
No, with everything going on nationally,
Yeah.
I just felt that I had to get in locally and kind of give my part politically.
Okay.
And I thought the Board of Ed was best suited me because I have 4 children in the school system.
Right.
2 have already graduated the school system, and I graduated there myself.
Okay.
And so the school is very important. I'm very invested in the town and the school.
Right.
So I want to give back, and we are losing Jan Peruccio, our superintendent.
I saw that.
And
wonderful person.
Wonderful. I mean,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
going to be very, very difficult to replace.
Yes.
She was at every event and really put her heart and soul into the job. And so it's the Board of Education's responsibility to find a replacement.
Right.
And I hope to be part of that search, part of the process.
I was going to say it's probably going to be a very extensive search looking for a superintendent of schools, because when the old Morgan School was over, and when they were over on where Big Y is in Clinton, and they were looking for a principal, my mom was on the search committee, and it was very detail oriented and very long process.
Yeah, I expect it to be a long. Well, we don't have a lot of time,
Right?
Because I believe she's leaving in March, so
Okay.
It's got to be somewhat expedited.
Right.
But it will be very detailed, and I'm sure there will be lots of long hours.
Yeah.
Dedicated to finding a good replacement.
Right. And hopefully somebody will be in place by the time she leaves, so maybe they can work together and she can show her the ins and outs of day-to-day operations.
I would hope that, someone would be in place prior to her leaving, so she can, that can be done.
Right. Now, what's your platform for the campaign?
Well, we have a kind of a slate platform
Okay.
of all the Democrats that are running, and that we are kind of work together, get rid of this diversity between the 2 parties. And as far as my platform, with the Board of Education, I'd
Right.
like to see more gifted programs in the school.
Right.
Currently, the school, they offer pretty much the bare minimum, which is to test and label those gifted children, but then there's really not a lot after that. So I'd like to see more gifted programs.
How many gifted programs do they have in the town of Old Saybrook?
Currently none.
Wow.
We have, like I said, it's the bare minimum. The state requires that all children be tested.
Okay.
And those that are gifted be labeled as gifted. But then there's nothing, there's no reach after that. It's kind of up to the parent to find extracurricular
Right.
education.
Right.
So, and I'd like to see that changed.
Now, I'm sure that the high school has changed since you graduated from Saybrook High.
It has. It has quite a bit. I mean, some good, some bad.
Right.
I think I guess it's a good thing they don't have a smoking lounge anymore.
Yeah.
And they've actually put a whole new wing in the back where everybody used to go out back. I don't like that they took down all the art in the cafeteria. Every year, the art class would put up an album.
Oh,
They
cool.
would paint an album on the wall, and those have all been painted over, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's horrible.
it's a little sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope they bring it back.
Yeah.
I hope that. I mean, I'm really I'm pro arts, whether
Okay.
it be music or visual arts or photography, painting,
Right.
whatever it be. I think we have a great programs in our school for that.
Now, who else is running on the Board of Ed with you?
Jane, and I will murder her last name.
Okay.
And Jack, and the three of us, we're all, eager and ready, and right now we've been out there knocking on doors and making videos on social media
There you
and trying
go.
to get the word out there,
There you
that we're here.
There you go. Now, how's the campaign going so far? I'm sure door knocking is a little bit of fun, but it also could be a little tedious as well.
It can be intimidating at times. You're
Yeah,
knocking
yeah.
on a stranger's door, and for me, Sunday's my only day off, so it's on a Sunday, and I'm watching the game.
Exactly.
And but it's nice. I meet a lot of nice new people and very supportive.
Right.
And some ask a lot of questions that make me have to answer.
Right.
And it's been rewarding, I think. would
Now,
be the word.
what types of questions normally do they ask, or do you hear about when you're out there?
Well, similar to what you asked, why am I running?
Okay.
What's my stance? And then they may ask something that has nothing to do with Board of Ed and one of the other commissions that are up for election. They may ask about what we're doing about our beaches, what we're doing about the parks. Are they going to put more pickleball courts in? It could be, it could be a lot of different things. But most are positive. I think we have a great community of very positive people. So.
I don't live in the community, but I've covered town events and stuff going on in town. That actually is a very homely community. It's very homey, and it's very, very welcoming.
It is. It is. I was born in Old Saybrook. I've been living there my whole life.
Oh, okay.
And I'm raising my children in town. And yeah, it's most people know all your neighbors, and
Oh, yeah.
and whether you're on the same political side or not, you're neighborly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Because I know my mom was actually a elected official in Clinton for 20-something years, and even when she was on the Board of Selectmen in Clinton, going to the grocery store with her, normal grocery store trip would take her an hour and a half because everybody wanted to stop and talk to her and ask her a question. It's like, finally my father and I were like, she's like, I'm going to the grocery store. My dad and I were looking at each other. Good, go, have fun. We'll be here when you get back.
My grocery store trips do tend to take quite a while also.
Yeah.
Just being a lifelong resident, I know a lot of people
everybody.
in town.
You know
I know a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm always running into somebody, and conversations start, and the next thing you know, your gallon of milk and loaf of bread took 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Been there, done that. And as far as the campaign goes, obviously you're running for Board of Ed. They have other people running for other offices as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got people running for the police commission,
Yep.
planning, zoning, board of finance, et cetera. Yeah, and that we have a wonderful slate of candidates.
Okay.
We really do. Most of them have lived in town for quite some time, raised or are raising their children here, and just really care about what's going on around the town.
Now, how does your work as a chef connect with the issues a school board tackles, like allocating resources or setting the curriculum?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think, as a chef, we've always got to be, prepared for everything.
Right.
When I'm on location to do a wedding and things pop up unexpectedly, I got to be ready to go. Right. And I think you have to be the same on the Board of Ed. Right. You need to be, have your mise en place, have all your information at your disposal, and do the best to work with that, and hopefully make the right decisions.
Cool. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
No, I'd be happy to.
All right, we'll be right back.
It was kind of the storm of the century, or the 500-year flood or storm, that by some estimates over 15 inches of rain fell over a 3-day period on June 4th, 5th, and 6th, 1982.
What is pickleball? The sport that has captivated millions with its combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong can be played 1-on-1 or 2-on-2.
Hi, thanks for joining me. This is September Selectmen's Update.
Hello everyone, Carl Fortuna here again with another monthly update.
Good morning everyone. Today's the Town Council regular meeting, Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 at 8 a.m., Town Hall Green Room.
We will move on to the minutes of September 5th.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Chef Earl Swain, who's running for Board of Education in the town of Old Saybrook. Chef, welcome back.
Well, thank you for having me.
By the way, I do appreciate the cooking reference right before we went to break. Good job.
Well, let's try to throw a little something in there.
So let's actually open up this segment talking about cooking.
Okay.
You have a favorite dish you'd like to prepare?
I have a lot of favorite dishes.
Yeah.
I think that I like to prepare anything new,
Okay.
new and exciting, something I haven't tried before.
Okay.
It stretches my culinary talents, and I like a challenge.
Cool. Now, who are some of your chef-inspired inspirations?
Well, that's a great one.
Really?
I think first off, I'd have to say my chef from culinary school.
Okay.
He taught me a lot. Of course, being a teacher,
Right.
But he taught me more about, more than just the culinary aspect of it, but being,
Right.
a good person behind the kitchen,
Right.
behind the apron per se. And I really don't follow any like celebrity chefs or anything. I think if I did, it would probably be Alton Brown.
Okay.
I like the science behind the cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think anybody can kind of follow a cookbook or a recipe.
Right.
But to know why you're doing it is interesting to me.
He's actually one of my favorites on him when he was on the Food Network, because you would come on and you would never know what's gonna transpire out of his mouth to show you how to do this,
He
that,
did
or
it
the
very,
other
yeah,
thing.
he did it very comical.
He did.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
He did, absolutely. So has Old Saybrook High School changed much since you were there? And what do you remember from back then?
And it's a long time ago.
Yes.
I think we discussed some of the changes that have occurred. Some of the paintings in the cafeteria.
Okay.
I think that some of the other positive changes. We have a lot more different diversity of classes.
Okay.
That we didn't have back then. You had your basics, your reading, writing, arithmetic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now we have so many different options for children nowadays. I forgot the second part of your question.
How's it changed?
Well, yeah, that was the changing part. Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, that's probably the biggest changes, and and the music room is so much bigger now than it used to be. It used to be a little cubby hole, and now it's grown to actually fit all the wonderful musicians we have in the high school.
So your job sounds pretty stressful. Can you tell us about a time when something went really wrong?
Well, we do. Having been in this business for 40 years, you're bound to run into some problems, whether ovens don't work or staff doesn't show up. Probably the most memorable moment, I was working a wedding at Harkness in Waterford.
Yep.
And we hadn't. You're not allowed to cook inside because of the age of the building. So we had our oven outside, gas oven, and the wind started whipping up. And now I think my food's cooking in the oven. Meanwhile, the wind had knocked out the pilot. No. So I come out an hour later to temp the food, and it's ice cold.
Oh no.
So
no.
I light the oven, and this goes on for about a half an hour. I keep lighting, and it goes out, and lighting, and it goes out. So I ended up, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
So I grabbed the catering van, and I pulled it as close to the oven as I could where I could still open it.
Right.
I took every available 8-foot table we had, and I stocked them on both sides of the van.
All right.
Kind of created myself a little room. And the next thing you know, wind was gone, and I was able to cook.
I was going to say, obviously it worked.
It did.
There you
It
go.
did. And the bride and groom never knew we even had a problem.
Which I guess could be a good thing.
That's a great thing.
All right.
You deal with the diversity, the problem that you have in front of you, and without anyone even seeing.
Absolutely. Now tell us about your proudest moment on the job.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of proud moments. When a bride and groom comes back into the kitchen to thank you for your food, that gives you a great ego boost. I don't know if we would call it a proud moment, but one of my favorite moments was a Chinese woman was getting married.
Okay.
And she wanted the food that her mother and grandmother cooked, her family recipes.
Okay.
And she flew her mother in, and she came into the kitchen and showed me how to make her family recipes.
Really?
Which was great for me because
cool.
I love learning new things and learning straight from someone coming right from China to show me, how she does things.
Yeah,
It's
I know. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That had to be pretty cool to see.
It was great. I loved it. But and it's one of the great things about the job is you get to see a lot of different ethnicities, and
Right.
I've seen Puerto Rican drum bands
Yep.
and belly dancers, and just this weekend we had one of the Chinese dragons with 3 men, doing the thing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that had to be cool to see.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
That had to be. I've never seen that done, but it sounds pretty cool.
It's louder than you think.
Oh, really?
It's very loud. The stomping and the bells and everything. It's very, very loud, especially when you're in a room, with 200 other people.
Yeah, no. And I'm sure when you're setting up for a wedding and Mother Nature has other ideas, and the weather decides not to cooperate, I'm sure you've got to make a executive decision of how do we pull this off now?
Yeah, the office staff is very good about that, setting up a rain plan in
Okay.
advance.
Yep.
So when the contracts go out, there's options for what are we going to do if it rains.
Exactly.
But you don't have options for what are you going to do when the oven goes out? What are you going to do if electricity goes out? So thank God that hasn't happened to me yet.
No, I got one for you.
What's that?
What do you do if they give you a certain number and 4 other people show up?
Usually we're prepared for
Okay.
for extra. 4 we can do, 40 not so much.
No.
But we're usually prepared for a few extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. We Andrew's been in business for I think 26, 27 years.
Okay.
So she's probably seen it all, probably more so than I have.
Yeah, she probably knows a little bit more of what's going on. And
In this particular
Yes.
aspect of the business, yes.
yes. Now, as far as food and the menus go, what for a wedding? Is there a typical standard menu, or is it different, or does it differ wedding by wedding?
Usually 6 to 9 months prior to the wedding, the bride and groom and anyone else they want to invite come in for a tasting. They pick a couple items off of our menu, 2 entrees, salads, etc.
Yep.
And they try those. And,
Okay.
and sometimes it's not what they wanted, and they may opt for another tasting, and they'll try something different. But usually they, in the first time they usually know what they want.
Yeah.
And currently, our braised short ribs are a huge option, a huge seller. That's usually, I would say, every 3 out of 4 weddings we'll choose that as one of our options. And Andrea's ginger crusted salmon is another big favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's. I think it's a recipe she won't part with.
No.
No. But it's. I don't like salmon, but I'll eat it that way.
Yeah.
Just the flavors are. They work.
Yeah. I'm not that big of a salmon person myself, but I'll try it. Like I tell everybody, I'll try everything at least once.
I'm the same way. I like to try things I haven't tried before.
Right.
Like joining the Board of Ed.
Exactly. Exactly.
So-
Now let's get back to the Board of Ed and see what's going on with the Board of Ed. If you are elected in November, what are some of the top priorities on your to-do list when you're?
Well, like I said earlier, Jan Peruccio is moving on,
Right.
so that's obviously going to be number one.
Yep.
And it's not by choice, just
Nope.
because we have to. And then, like I said, I want to look into gifted programs, and I also want to look into one of our biggest problems is the lack of enrollment. Our enrollment is in kindergarten this year is very low. I think it's the lowest I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's somewhere in the 50s, 52, 57, somewhere in that range.
Oh, wow.
And I think our graduating class is somewhere around 100. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's a big discrepancy. So, I think it's going to require the Board of Education working with some of the other commissions, planning, zoning, et cetera. I'm not really sure.
Right.
To figure out why are families not having their kids enroll in our schools.
Exactly. How many students are there at Old Saybrook High School?
I recently looked this up.
Okay, well, good.
There is 1,085
Wow.
between all the schools.
Oh, wow.
And I was a little saddened to learn about the lack of diversity.
Okay.
Out of those almost 1,100 students, there's only 9 black children.
Okay.
And I think that's low. I think
Yeah.
I'd like to see more diversity in our school. We do have, I think it was somewhere in the 140-ish range of Hispanic children. So at least we're doing a little bit better than
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, as a candidate, I'm going to ask you the question I ask all the candidates running for political office.
Sure.
If I didn't know you and you said, hi, I'm Earl Swain, running for Board of Education in the town of Old Saybrook, I said to you, why should I vote for you? What would you tell me?
I would say that first and foremost, I'm a protector. I'm a protector of my children, and I would bring that into protecting the children and the staff of the Old Saybrook school system.
Okay.
And I would, got a little tongue-tied. I would, I want to give all the students, teachers, faculty, all the tools they need to succeed, to teach these children as best they can, and for these children to learn as best they can. What that means right now, not 100% sure. I know a few things, ideas I have,
Right.
but you know, it's about protecting and encouraging.
And we also want to remind people that election day is November 7th.
Yes.
Correct.
And I want everyone to get out there and vote.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Chef Swain, thanks for some time, and we'll hopefully see you again soon.
Absolutely. I hope
right.
to see you at the polls.
You got it. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
On behalf of Chef Earl Swain, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.